When you play singles, you can really break the point down into 5 specific situations. You are either serving, you're returning, you are rallying back and forth with the opponent, you're going to the net, or your opponent is going to the net. At any given moment, you are doing one of those 5 things. So if you get better at each phase, then you will win more matches. Let's talk about serving first. When you are hitting a second serve, aim to the very center of the box. It is a big, big mistake to double fault with the second serve landing wide. You see a lot of players aiming down the tee or way out wide on their second serve, and unless you're perfect, you're going to miss wide every now and then, and you're going to double fault, giving the point to your opponent. Most of us do not have a second serve like Pete Sampras, who would have like 110-mile-an-hour second serve, right? That's not who we are as recreational players. We're trying to get the ball in and make sure we can start the point and not be hemorrhaging points with double faults everywhere. The easiest way to give yourself margin is to aim to the center. So on your first serve, you want to go for that ace, you want to serve it out wide and pull the opponent off the court, go ahead. But don't do that on the second serve. Second serves aim to the middle of the box. You'll reduce your double faults and increase the likelihood that you hold serve. Singles tip number 2. When you're returning serve, pre-plan where you're going to aim your shot. Very simple concept. If you're playing someone who's got a fast serve, you aim down the middle. If they've got a weaker serve, maybe a weak second serve, that's when you can hit more to the outside. I've put 2 magnets here and created thirds. Left third of the court, the middle third of the court, and the right third. When you are returning against a strong serve, return deep back down the center third. It gives you margin. That way, if you're a little late or a little early, or you mistime that really strong serve and you're trying to return it, at least if you miss, you have a better chance of hitting it in. And when they have a weak serve and you can step inside the court and be more aggressive, don't hit to the center third. That's when you're going to go more to the outer thirds and try to hurt the opponent. So please, like I teach so many rec players who, before the point starts, you'll even say, hey, where are you going to hit this return? And they look at you like, wait, I'm supposed to pre-plan it? Ryan, I'm just trying to get my racket on the ball and hit it over the net. That's not specific enough. Very simple. Returning a strong serve, aim to the middle. If you're returning a weaker second serve or just a weaker serve in general, and you're stepping inside the court a little bit more, that's when you can hit more to the outside. Pre-plan the return, and you're going to break serve more often. Singles tip number 3. When rallying, always have an air target over the net. An air target is the key to consistency. It's the height you're trying to make the ball pass over the net. Sometimes you should aim lower over the net, and sometimes you should aim higher over the net. Here's a simple way to know whether you should aim low or aim high. It has to do with, are you inside the baseline or are you way back behind the baseline? As you move forward inside the court, you should aim lower over the net. As you move back and the distance that you need to hit the ball increases, you now need to hit the ball higher over the net. Just ask yourself, what percentage of the time do you pick an air target? It should be 100% of the time. Whether you make your shot or not is, who knows, it's just up to you and your ability. But you should always have a target. What I typically see with players, when they move inside the court and they hit the ball out, they'll say something like, too much. I hit it too hard, just too much. I went for too much. When really, they didn't go for too much because Alcaraz and Serena hit the ball a lot harder than they just did. But their ball goes in. Yes, it's because of the spin, but it's also because they hit the ball lower over the net, and they know to hit the ball lower over the net when they're inside the court. That way the ball doesn't go out. But a lot of times rec players, they're inside the court and they hit it softer to try to keep the ball in. Or when you go back, you'll see players hit the ball really hard because they know that they have a farther distance to make that ball travel, when really they just need to hit the ball higher. To be more consistent, always have an air target. Move in, aim low, move back, aim high, and watch how you stop missing for no reason during a rally. Now, we'll get back to the video in just a second, but first, if your level of play is plateaued, you're just not getting better, or you're just not improving at the rate you'd like, and maybe you are taking lessons with a local pro, but it just doesn't seem to be helping, then send me an email, ryan@2minutetennis.net, and we can hop on a 10-minute phone call, and I can talk to you about getting your game analyzed on video. Whether you'd like me to analyze your serve, or your forehand, your backhand, your net game, or maybe your footwork, or even a whole match. Let's say you've got SwingVision, or even if you just record yourself playing matches, you send me the footage, I will analyze your entire game, putting you side by side with the pros, showing you what you're doing correctly and what you need to change to gain confidence and start winning more matches. So send me an email, ryan@2minutetennis.net. You and I can exchange phone numbers, we'll hop on a quick 10-minute call, and we can see if video analysis is right for you. Singles tip number 4. When you go to the net, make sure you split step as your opponent is hitting. Now, specifically, you want to land the split step just after they hit. It's about 0.2 seconds after they hit when you want to actually land the split step. That's the proper timing. But what I typically see is players hit the approach, they start going forward, and then they're still running as the opponent makes contact. If you're still moving as the opponent hits, what if they hit down the line? What if they hit cross court? What if they lob over your head? Because you're still running, it is going to be very difficult for you to change direction in order to get to their ball. The only time you're going to have success when you go to the net without a split step is if the ball is coming right to you exactly where you want it. Otherwise, you're going to struggle. A ball at your feet, forget about it. The most important time to split step is after you hit your approach shot and you're going to the net. That is the #1 time to split step. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't split step other times, or there aren't important times to split step. But the most important time, meaning it's the most detrimental if you don't, is on the approach, going to the net. It is when you are running the fastest while your opponent is hitting. And just like we've driven a car and gone a little too fast around a corner, if we don't make a sharp turn, we think to ourselves, oh, I should have slowed down. I should have hit the brakes and gone a little slower to make a sharper turn. It's the exact same idea. So here's an easy way to think of this. When you hit your approach and you're going to go to the net, you're either going to take 2 or 3 steps. That's it. So 1, 2, 3, and then it's time to split step. You hop in the air, your feet split apart, you land on the front half of your feet, and then you can move in either direction. Forward, back, left, right, ball at your body, ball at your feet. You can adjust. Watch video footage of your matches. If when you're going to the net, you are not split stepping, that is why you're losing more points than you should when you go forward. Add a split step, you will be so balanced, you'll be able to change direction beautifully, and the chances of winning at the net go way up. Singles tip number 5. When your opponent comes to the net, use the 2-shot passing shot strategy. This is so simple and will win you a ton of points when they're attacking you. Let's say you hit a short ball, they come in, they hit the approach, and now you're scrambling to go get the ball. Instead of trying to avoid them, where you try to hit a pass down the line or a pass cross court, which is very tempting and people love doing it, and I've made videos even recently on how to do that. But let's be honest, we're trying to win the match, not just hit spectacular shots all day. And sometimes we have to not do what's spectacular in order to win the point. When your opponent comes to the net, involve them in the point rather than avoiding them. When you involve them in the point, the chances of winning surprisingly actually goes up, because you're not playing Martina Navratilova or Pete Sampras or Stefan Edberg. You're playing Bob or Carol, right? You're playing a doctor, a lawyer, an accountant, a construction worker, a school teacher. That's who you're playing. They don't have the most amazing volleys in your city. In fact, they're probably hoping that you do avoid them because they don't always feel comfortable up at the net. So force them to volley. The best thing to do, don't crush it. Just maybe a little spin, let gravity do its magic, and the ball comes low to their feet. And by the way, most of your opponents do not split step when they come to the net, so they're going to run right into that ball and they're really going to struggle with it. But even if they do get that ball back, Now you get to come inside the court, because most times when you hit the ball low to the opponent and you just try to make the ball land around the service line so the ball is low, they will hit a short volley that pulls you in. Now it makes mathematical sense to go for the pass on the second shot. This is why it's called the two-shot passing shot strategy. Instead of going for the pass on your first shot, hit it to their feet, let them hit the weak volley. Half the time they'll miss it. The other half the time they'll hit a weaker volley that pops up. Now you step inside the court and you hit the passing shot on your second shot. So if you'd love to hop on a 10-minute phone call with me to talk about your game and see if video analysis is right for you, send me an email, ryan@2minutetennis.net. Follow these singles tips and there's no doubt you're going to gain confidence, win more matches, and play much better tennis. This is Ryan Reedy from 2minutetennis.net. You got this.